All right, so this is my final project for IDT 7061 in the fall of 2018. Just my reflection on what I used to think about the technology in classroom and what I now think about technology integration in classroom. So I've put together a Kaku graphic organizer. Um, I'm sorry, a graphic organizer using Kaku. And this is just kind of some of my thoughts about this course, and I will go more in depth on those. So what I used to think about technology in the classroom is, as we can see, do we really need that much technology in the classroom? And I'm a PET major, so I always used to think, is it really that important that we have a lot of technology in the PE classroom? Isn't it more for outdoor play? Isn't PE more aimed towards getting kids active in outdoor play and everything like that? So I didn't think going into this course as a PE teacher I would need that much technology. I didn't know if it was really that important for PE because again, you know, I just thought that kids should be more active rather than in a computer lab um, doing technology assignments. And then I also thought, how does it really help with student learning? And by that I kind of meant is, how does being on a computer help students learn? Again, me being a PET major, it's how does technology actually really help students learn in a PE classroom? So, it's just those thoughts going in. I wasn't, well aware of everything that was out there that could be used not just in a normal classroom, but a PE classroom as well. So now just to go over my thoughts about what I now think about technology integration in the classroom. Now going through this course, this is the end of the course, 7-week course, and this is week 7. So this is some thoughts about now, things that I now think. I think technology integration in the classroom promotes higher learning and thinking from students. By this I mean that instead of students just sitting back and listening to lectures and really not doing the work, I think technology integration and in the classroom allows students to think at a higher level, and those who are doing the work are doing the learning. So if students are working, they're learning. And teachers that assign students these technology assignments and little tasks and homework tasks, this is a good way to promote higher learning and thinking, because it's just technology has a great way of taking students outside the normal structure of school, and that's not always a bad thing. It's quite actually a good thing. So I also now think that technology is crucial for student learning. In today's day and age, you have to be able to use laptops and iPads and iPhones and smartphones and tablets and things like that, to survive really in the real world and in the workplace. So allowing technology integration into our classroom in the middle school, in the elementary, middle school, and high school levels, I think is crucial, and it will help give those students a leg up going into college and as well as their professions. Because if they already have a basic understanding of how to use technology, then it will all only help them further in their careers. It also will introduce them to different websites and tools they can use going further, and that can help them in their educational and professional careers. Technology also promotes critical thinking and thinking outside the box. It really, like I said, it kind of strays from the normal style of teaching where a teacher may just teach from a lecture PowerPoint model, and students just learn from that and just take notes and aren't really active and engaged in it. Whereas if students are doing assignments, such as Powtoons and graphic organizers, it really allows the student to have to think about what they have learned and how to apply it and how to simplify it. And if students can simplify that, if they can put their thoughts into words and into action, then it only means, they're critically thinking. They understand the content that's going over. And I think that's probably one of the most crucial and underrated things about technology and integration into the classroom. It allows students to critically think and think outside the box, and it allows students to learn the content they're going over rather than just take notes and not learn. The biggest problem I think with education today is teachers teach and they just teach and just lecture and lecture, and students just listen and they just memorize to pass. We're always worried about getting an A or a B and just passing the class. We don't actually learn the material. So technology integration helps promote critical thinking and thinking outside the box, and it also allows the students to actually learn the information they're going over to apply to their future careers. Um, Technology integration in the PE classroom, I said over here what I used to think. I used to think, is it really that important in PE? Well, I stand corrected, and sometimes you have to admit when you're wrong, and you definitely can use a lot of technology in PE. Now, I knew we could use some, but going through this course, I really learned a lot about more technology that I can integrate in the PE classroom when I become a teacher. You can use things like iPads to really, that's a big one right there, is iPad and video recording to record students doing certain exercises and activities. And you can also use that to where students it can be a 1v1. I may be recording my partner doing a certain throwing activity. When he does that throwing task, we'll come back and watch it on the video on the iPad, and I'll give him tips and corrections, and then we'll go back and he'll attempt that same task while trying to correct what we need to correct. So that's a good visual way you can use technology in the classroom that allows for students to see what they're doing. And then really it helps the students become teachers. And again, if students are working, they are learning. And then there's other things as well, such as heart rate monitors, which are huge as well. I just think there's a lot of technology out there, especially you could use in the PE classroom, heart rate monitors, Fitbits, and everything like that. Because especially I think heart rate monitors are crucial that some may not think about, because um, if you have a bigger person or even, a normal whatever person, um, if their heart rate is higher, then they're doing work. I may be running 4 laps on the mile test. My heart rate can be low. I didn't push myself. Whereas somebody else in the classroom may, jog 4 laps, but their heart rate is high. Maybe they're out of shape. I don't know the circumstances. But as long as that heart rate is high and that person is working and doing the best they can, that's a great indicator for teachers to use. Instead of just saying you have to, make these 4 laps in 12 minutes, put heart rate monitors on the students. Allow them to let you know that they are doing the best they can with a high heart rate and they're working the best they can. And lastly, right here, do we really need that much technology in the classroom? Um, I wanted to put this, on what I now think versus what I used to think. Um, Before I used to think we really didn't need that much technology in the classroom, especially the PE classroom. Now I think, do we really need that much technology in the classroom? Absolutely. Um, as a future PE teacher, I would love to have iPads and heart rate monitors at the minimum. And I would encourage and hope and wish that my future school and district provide as much technology integration in the PE classroom that I can possibly have for my students. Because again, I believe it promotes critical thinking and thinking outside the box and higher learning um, for students. And then again, like I said up here, those students that are working or learning. And some of the technologies that we have used in IDT, we've used Kaku, which is this right here. Kaku is just going to be a big graphic organizer. And again, this was just a very simplified version right here. We did a WeVideo assignment where we video edited, and again, I think that's a great way for students to learn how to do video editing and video projects as well. We learned how to upload those to YouTube. We did a few Powtoons, which I'll show you a little bit of a few of the ones I did here in a minute. And we did VoiceThread as well as TeleStory. VoiceThread I really liked. It's a great way for students to talk about their assignment, but not be on a video. And some students don't like that. They may be a little shy about that. So this would be a great way to kind of ease into that. And TeleStory is just a great app that students can really play around with and do different things like be a news anchor, a sports anchor, rock star and things like that for assignments. So just to show you a couple of the assignments we did, this class really helped me with learning how to really do a lesson plan well, and taking me outside of my comfort zone and area, and pushing me to do a professional lesson plan. And this is something I did a little bit, touched on a little bit in my undergrad years, but I definitely was pushed to do more in this school this class in graduate school. And again, it really pushed me to do a full professional lesson plan. And I think this again, this was great. I had to do different sorts of Bloom's taxonomy levels, and I had to pick. The easy part was picking what I wanted to do. Health and wellness education for 8th grade. That's easy. But now it's what content standards is it going over? What ISTE standards can you apply? How can you integrate technology into this lesson? And it really, really made me think about this lesson. The easy part is just saying I want to do health and wellness. That's the easy part. But now it's digging deeper into this lesson and really making you get into sort of a long-term, relationship, whatever you want to call it, with this lesson plan and understanding the ins and outs of it. So again, this was probably one of the most weekly challenging things I had to do. But looking back on it, very glad that I was pushed to do this, because I think this is going to help make me a better teacher. And being a better teacher, I'm going to help impact more students. So again, this is just kind of a quick glance of my lesson plan. It really made me think of every little detail and all the materials that I was going to be using, how I was going to grade my students. So I really enjoyed that. And just to glance at our Powtoons, this was just one of my little video Powtoons from class. It's a great way. I'll skip ahead just a little bit so we can see. It's a great way and a great assignment for students to tell you what they learned about that in that particular lesson plan. And it's a great kind of alternative for homework as well. And I even had to do one. I thought this was a great tool to use for my, I had to make one for, I'm the CEO of the Peak Club at the University of Memphis. And we have a fundraising event coming up, and this is just a great way. I know this doesn't have anything to do with IDT 7061, but it's just a great way to show what I used in this class and applied to a real life situation. So this is going to be a great way as well to use that in the future. So kind of to sum things up, I don't have too much time left. I really enjoyed this class and how it pushed me to go outside the box, outside my learning comfort zone. And I did not think that this was going to be that crucial of a class for me, because as a PE teacher, I didn't think we were going to use that much technology. But now I do believe that I can use a lot of technology and integrate that technology in the classroom to promote higher learning and to help better my students. So I really enjoyed this class, this lesson, and I thank you so much for teaching it.